Now, in executing a crisis plan, like what Kim said, flexibility is essential. Okay? Now, there's always something unexpected, strange scenarios you never thought about, something that doesn't fit. The plan wasn't found to be appropriate at that time. All right? So you cannot just blindly follow a plan and automatically without thinking. All right? The most important thing is to use your brain. So you've got to build in some flexibility into a plan. And again, another recurrent theme is to evaluate along the way, collect feedback, monitor performance, and identify problems. For example, one of the most crucial problems that we hadn't thought about was to mobilize the ambulance. Okay. The transport was a crucial bottleneck. Remember in June or in May, we were isolating, putting every person into hospital if they got swine flu. And it soon became apparent that the ambulances could not cope. 90 patients a day, all right? All these ambulance calls, they were just, out of whack. So immediately, we knew about it and we had to hire extra coaches to cope with the situation. And again, use the decision-making structure to make strategic decisions and changes that are not covered by the crisis plan. Now, I'm going to share with you maybe 2 case studies to illustrate what I just mentioned. Now, the first study was about the first case. Remember that Mexican patient? You came to Hong Kong on May 1st. Okay. Now, even before that, during the last week of April, the swine flu was already spreading in Mexico. And there were reports that many people were dying there. The WHO raised the alert level. And then in Hong Kong, we raised our response level, and we introduced all these supportive checks and so on. And we already warned the public that it's going to be here soon. Okay? It's going to be here soon. No kind of border health measure can be foolproof. Okay? So we primed the public and the media to anticipate for the arrival of the first case. And indeed, we got it on May 1st. And sure enough, he went into a hotel, the Metro Park Hotel. It's like a coincidence. It's during SARS, the first patient went to Metropole Hotel, which was under the same management. It's quite a bit of a coincidence. And actually, we were notified about this case during an afternoon at 4 p.m. Okay, so the scenario is at 4 p.m., May 1st. Oh, we had the first case. What are we going to do? Okay. So, in fact, we promptly quarantined the hotel residents and staff in the evening on the same day. That was on, I think, around 7 p.m. Okay. We did consider other options, like moving the people to another quarantine site. But the trouble is, we've got no other quarantine site. Okay. Even in our plans, we did not anticipate such a rapid development of scenario. So we've got no quarantine facility at that time that was able to house maybe 300 hotel residents. Okay. And how about, well, not quarantining the hotel, but instead doing health checks and taking, prophylactic drugs. Again, after a lot of discussions, we found this probably was not the best way to go, because this was a first case, a lot of uncertainties out there. Remember in SARS, we had a patient in the hospital, and then it spread all over the place. Right? So it's a big risk to take. So we went to the media the same evening and we set up some other measures. However, that was a simplification. In fact, we met with many, many challenges. Now, all the decisions actually had to be made quick. You need a quick decision to quarantine the hotel, and every minute counts. The reason is twofold. First of all, the hotel residents would leave. Okay? If you do it too late, everyone is gone. Okay? Like the Metropole Hotel during SARS. Second, the media is already there, right? Now TV, TVB, they have cars parked by the hotel at 6:30 p.m. Okay? So you cannot just wait and let things take care of themselves. You've got to act quickly. And indeed, the decision to quarantine the hotel actually comes from the CE steering committee. So we have a top-level decision to quarantine the hotel, which is a major, major move. Okay? At first, there were legal ambiguities. Are we doing it legally? All right. We always fear JR and so on. And then there were multiple departments involved. Let me read you the list. Besides our Department of Health, there's the FHD, the BAB, the the fire service department, social welfare department, police, hospital authority, and so on. So we have got suddenly everybody coming to the site. Okay. So how do we divide responsibilities? Who is in command? How do we coordinate our actions? And how do we communicate with each other? All these things were not immediately sorted out by the time we went to the hotel at 7 p.m. Okay. So it took us some time to work all those things out, which is not easy. And of course, logistics support is a big problem. How about food supplies, entertainment, Wi-Fi? You know, how do we facilitate the travel arrangements of residents? So a lot of things to sort out, which we were not totally prepared. And of course, the residents were discontented at first. They were not happy about the laundry, not happy about the food, and they take the pictures and upload it to YouTube and so on. So we have to deal with that. And of course, the Council of Generals, they have concerns too. They want to meet with their fellow citizens, and they want to know when the quarantine ends, and they want to meet with their citizens when the quarantine ends, because there were good, nice pictures for them to fax back to their respective countries. All right. So they have a lot of requests and concerns, which are quite legitimate, I think. And of course, you always have your outside experts and leaders of the and so on. So how do we deal with that? As I said, very, very important. Probably the most important lesson was to have the steering committee chaired by CD to make the key decisions. All right. I think the biggest difference in how we handled swine flu this time and how we handled SARS was during SARS we did not have a decision-making system in place. Really, right? So in these days of accountability, it's even more important to have someone, some structure, shouldering the responsibilities. And we identified the lead department in this steering committee meeting, okay? And that was the DAB. So we have a lead department for the operation, and we set up a command post at the hotel for better coordination and communication. And of course, we need to communicate with all these stakeholders and address their concerns. So, and it turned out pretty good. I think it was much better than what I first expected. Okay. When these people first came out, I was saying, oh, they will complain of 10 different things, and then made a bad image. As you know, CNN, the NBC, ABC were all watching. But it turned out quite well. They were waving, and then they were thanking the Hong Kong government. So I think this is a lesson to learn. Indeed, we can turn things around from a bad thing into perhaps